All right, and we're live. Let's go. This is the Clash of Fans podcast number 6. Let's go ahead and start off with introductions. Dave's had enough.
This is Dave's had enough. Glad to be here. Let's get started.
Who's next? Magma, go.
This is Frozen Magma with the Swaggy Straw Hat crew and the Straw Hat Nation. Thanks for inviting me.
Yes, sir. And I appreciate all your support on my live streams. Jack Moo. It's J Got. Sorry, J Got. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man? I'm J Got, the one that causes a lot of problems. Let's do this.
Jack Moo. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's poppin', everybody? It's Jack Moo, man, the guru of Giddy Up. But you can also call me your pony commissioner.
That shit is amazing.
I know, man.
My man Joey. What's the deal, homie? Joey.
Oh, my bad, yo. What's going on? This is Joey Luciano, member of Glitch. Thanks for the invite, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. What's going on, Wolflo?
Hey, it's Wolflo. You guys know me around YouTube. Aroo! All right, good.
And my man B. What's going on, Baltimore?
Hold on, I'm just getting my mic together. What's going on, fellas?
All right. So we're going to start off real quick. I want to dive into this real quick, catch Dave off guard. In your podcast, you talked about me and my opinion on Drive Club versus Forza Horizon 6, correct?
This podcast?
No, your last one. I wasn't in it.
Oh, Bear Hugger?
No. Yeah, you were talking about it with Thanos and all that.
Oh, that was a while. Okay, that was a couple podcasts ago.
Oh, fair enough. I was just wanting to clear my name. You like totally Tim Allen that whole thing. I was only referring to the graphic fidelity between the two games, not the games themselves.
So now we're changing it. Now it's like the game itself, or
no, that's not. That's the truth. That's what actually was discussed.
I guess I'll dig up some videos of when we discussed the gameplay too. I just got to find them.
Right, but that's not. Yeah, because I've always liked Forza 6. And the Drive Club is cool too, but I get bored about both of them. But as far as graphic fidelity is concerned, Drive Club blows them away. But again,
no. You said to me that the gameplay. You said that there are two different games. You said an arcade style racer to a sim racer.
Right.
And we were discussing everything. To be fair.
Right. But I never meant that Drive Club was better than Forza. That's ludicrous.
I thought I heard you say. I'll have to look it all up. I mean, I have to see what it was all about too. Because to be fair, I don't remember the podcast.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that. I just wanted to put that out there because I don't think Drive Club is better. It's different. And again, I don't think it's fair to compare them. But either way. What's going on? We got Dawson here as well. What's the damn deal?
What's up, man?
Glad you could join. I posted the what we're talking, the topics in the comment section, so you can see that on the chat. We're gonna go ahead and start off, and let's go with the NX rumors. What's everybody's thoughts and opinions on the rumors that it's y'all seen all the rumors flying around the 900p 60 frames per second, it might possibly work on PC, PlayStation 4, mobile, and hard. Y'all heard the whole thing. Anybody can chime in. What's your thoughts and opinions on that bad boy?
Well, I guess I'll start. I'll go off. The rumor of it being 4K 60 frames a second, that's streaming. That's possible. I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't be. You know what I mean? For gameplay, nah, I don't think so.
No, it was 4K playback. 900.
Yeah, that's probably like for YouTube or like.
Right.
Yeah, but that's not a. I don't think that's a problem. It won't take much to do that. You know what I mean? Like you don't need like a high-end video card to achieve that. Right. But in terms of gaming, now I don't think that ain't gonna happen. Because as we know, video cards are still quite expensive that can do that. You're talking about using like 2 Titan X's or something like that just to achieve 4K 60 frames.
No, that's not what they're claiming though. They're only saying.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm going off into video games though, but for it being, and also to chime on for it being, I guess, compatible or I don't know, integrated with the PC, PS4. The PC I can see, the PS4 that would be cool. I mean, if they're going to do that. I just wondering how they would if that's true. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. You guys got any opinions on that?
I just think that it.
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead, man.
I got one
Go
more.
ahead.
I got one more. Unless they're talking about in terms of like having like cross play between like multiple games or certain games. Like for instance, like when Final Fantasy 11 came out for PS2 and it was playable with PS2, 360, and PC. Unless they're talking about something like that, you know what I mean? There's saying that they're going to have cross integration between PC and PS4.
That's a good point. That's a fair point.
For me, go ahead, Joey. Oh, my bad.
My bad, B.
No,
My
go
take
ahead.
on it is I don't understand why they would release a system that can only do 900. Seeing all the backlash that the Xbox One gets, seeing everything that's going on with people wanting 1080p, supposedly at least 30 frames on console, like, to what end does it serve them to not release something? They've had 2 years to sit and wait and watch what's been going on in the market. Why wouldn't they take advantage and release something that's more powerful?
Because they want to be different.
Or they want to control cost or whatever. I just don't think it makes sense. Whether they do it or not is yet to be seen. I just think it's not something that would be Nintendo though, because they're always saying they're not competing. And as far as it being compatible with other systems, again, another question about that is to what end? What are they wanting to achieve? Are they trying to admit that they don't have an actual foothold in the console place anymore? Now they just want to play nice with everyone? Or like, what are they wanting their system to be? To me, it's already a convoluted mess. It's got a handheld. It might not come with the handheld, was the latest thing I heard, that you might have to buy the handheld separately. Now there's talk of it doing this and doing that. They just need, in my honest opinion, I feel that they just need to already answer these questions. That way people can know what they're getting into moving forward. Because right now, with all this speculation and everything, what's coming out just doesn't make no sense, That's just my opinion.
It's letting people make up these beliefs in their heads, kind of like Ubisoft game, and then they're just going to be disappointed.
I think it sits somewhere in between. Honestly, I think there's some truth to what they're saying. I really don't know too much about Nintendo. I really don't play their games. I do have a Wii U. Well, my son has a Wii U. I don't play it, but that being said, I just think with the rumors out here, what are we talking about?
Exactly that, rumors.
I'd like to say that I think that when they released that new 3DS and they kind of like split the fan base, I think that new 3DS is going to play a role with that because they only made like 2 games for it, and I think they're really trying to focus on mobile and having all their games out there on the mobile markets and all that kind of stuff.
Think so?
Hey,
Yeah, that's fair. I would say that hadn't Nintendo always tried to keep their consoles around $400 or less?
Yeah.
It would be kind of cool if somehow they made it so that you could take a bunch of your older games on Nintendo systems and handhelds, put them into the new NX, and actually be able to get like achievements and things like that, and use voice chat on them and all that stuff. I don't know.
And live stream as well.
Exactly. And record in 1080p. Whoa.
But do you really think Nintendo will go that route to, I guess, to modernize their hardware?
Nope.
One would hope they would, though, at this time. Like, they had to have learned some kind of lesson.
They're still. They won't even let you put their games up on YouTube. So unless they're going to change that, they're not going to do it.
That's true, but like, do you think if you're able to stream from their hardware to YouTube, it's already like copywritten under their bystanders? You know what I mean? Like maybe if you're using their hardware, it's kind of like the past, I guess. You know what I mean? Like they won't be.
Where they're going to come up with their own streaming service?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm probably reaching for straws on it though, but I'm just kind of throwing it out there.
You got a point.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I don't see them doing it. They haven't given you anything to make you think that they would do something like that. So,
Nope.
Is anybody excited for it?
No.
Not really, no.
I want to see what it's about. Like, I just want them to bring it out there so people can just stop talking about it.
I'm sorry, but I want them to do good. I want to have a reason to go out and buy it. You know what I mean? I'm not a Nintendo basher. I really don't have any feelings towards Nintendo. It's just they're there. You know, if you want to play their games, you can play them for me. And I like I said, there's people out here that's upset with them or, you know, feel some type of way. But to me, I'm neutral. So I do want to see them do good. You know, whatever they come up with, I hope they implement it well and put it out there and let people know what they're trying to do soon.
Really, look at it this way, man. Like, this is Nintendo's last chance. I mean, this is their last chance before they go the way of Sega. I mean, what happened with Sega when they started getting towards the end? They started putting out tons of different hardware. I mean, they released the add-ons to the Genesis, which just brought them down, and they released the Sega Saturn, which just it was ruining the company.
Then the Dreamcast
was the final nail in the coffin. Yeah. The NX is Nintendo's final nail in the coffin before they get out of the hardware market. If they don't do well, if they can't get third-party developers to actually work with them, then it's over for them. They're just going to have to turn into a cross-platform developer, just like Sega.
Yeah, but do you think you could ever see a Nintendo game on another system?
No.
I never thought I'd see Sonic on another system, but it happened.
That to me, there was always some chance of that in the back of my mind. It was surprising at first, but Sega's not Nintendo. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And the way that they did, like, what was it, 3 or 4 units within 3 years, almost, or 2 years back to back, especially with the Dreamcast and the Saturn, that was damn near neck and neck. And then the way they didn't even promote the Saturn, it was like, yeah, you can go get one right now. Like, the decisions that they were making, you can see that, you know, they were out there for the money. Now, Nintendo's been around since the late 1800s. They've been a gaming company. They generally don't play well with others. They've never really played well with others. I can see them, if they fold, just taking up all their toys and going home. Like, forget about it. Like, if it would be sad. It would be a sad day for gamers. You know what I mean? But how many of us really do need Mario at this day and age? Well, our kids ain't really coming up on Mario. They're coming up on stuff like Angry Birds and Candy Crush, because all they want to do is play Apple iPod games and tablets and shit.
They're playing shooters too, man.
The market's growing exponentially every year.
So I have a question though, but since Nintendo, like, they're not competitive, do you think that's why they don't put out a competitive system?
They're not competitive in the same. They're not competing on the same level, really. That's the thing.
Like, you have to ask yourself, then why are they here? Then you know what I mean?
And the thing is, Mario, it ain't going nowhere. I mean, that's still going to be around for sure.
I just think that them not big. That whole we're not competing was just like damage control. Like,
hell yeah.
Well, if you can't get in the race, why not just say, I don't want to race? You know what I'm saying? In other words, like, you know, they didn't have a.
You got some people dropping off.
I'm still here.
Well, the thing is people are forgetting, man. Like, Nintendo not competing. I wouldn't say they're not competing, because honestly, if we look back at the original Wii, what they do? I mean, they whooped the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360's butt, bro. I mean, they won that console war. And they did it with a machine that they made money off of every time they sold one. And what they're doing right now is they're looking at it from a marketing standpoint more than from like a developing and gaming standpoint. They're trying to release hardware that they can at least make a little money on, or at least, at the very least, break even on. And I think they're going to have to get rid of that sort of mentality if they want to actually compete in today's market, because people aren't all about the gameplay anymore. It's all about the explosions. It's all about the microwave. It's all about
you're right about
what
that.
Can I get right now that'll make me instantly satisfied. That's why Call of Duty does so well. You jump on, you shoot a whole bunch of people, and even if you're a noob, you're guaranteed at least 3 or 4 kills.
Also, though,
that's
that
what kids
Wii,
want now.
To me, sorry to interrupt, the Wii was like lightning in a bottle. That had soccer moms. Your grandmama wanted a bowl. That shit had everybody. But by the end, by like year 3 or 4, how many of them were even still being used? It doesn't change the fact that they did sell as many as they sold and everything like that. Notwithstanding, they didn't replicate it with the Wii U, albeit maybe through bad marketing, weaker hardware, for whatever reason, we can't tell. We don't know. I mean, but I think that in order to even come close to doing that again, they have to make a comparable machine to at least what's out there right now. It's always, what is the use for a third unit? Like I have a high-end gaming rig, I have an Xbox, and I have a PlayStation. What else do I need? Like I don't even need what I have. What I have is too much. What's to convince me or anybody else to go out there if this machine is? If I can get all this on this machine, why would I buy that machine?
Yeah, Nintendo's going to have to justify the purchase of a new machine when we already have machines that are far superior than what they're putting out on the market.
Exactly. That's the point I'm trying to drive home.
So what if Nintendo could do something a little different that you can't get from the other systems? Like,
see, that's what's killing me.
You know what I mean? Like, that's
like the reason why the Wii sold so well, it was one game. It was Wii Sports.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like to this day, you can go into grandma, grandpa's, your mom, your daddy's house, and they're playing Wii Sports. That's what they play. There was no other game that reached that level of popularity, and it was due to the casual nature of the game. If they can come out with a new system, no matter the specs, that has instant, playability to the casual consumer, they'll succeed. But the problem is what they've already done so many things and taken so many chances. Since this is their last chance, if they fail on this hardware and they fail on a game to support that hardware, they're done. It's over.
I think they'll be bringing out the new NX with the superior specs and all that just to satisfy the Nintendo base. They're not worried about gamers, Xbox gamers, and PlayStation gamers.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
They have to get third-party developers. Without those third-party developers, it'll be another Wii U.
It's just for the Nintendo hardcore.
And they need that online system as well. They need to have voice chat. They need to have these things.
They need to get up to date with that. But I feel the casual gamer has moved on to tablets and mobile by now. And I think that's another reason why the Wii U fell. Remember, they released it with basically a low-end tablet, or what they wanted to represent was a low-end tablet. And it didn't catch on the way they were hoping it would catch on. I just think that they have to make, like Baltimore said, something that's geared towards their fan base. But I think they need to appeal. Sony came out and appealed to what their audience and to gamers in general, and look where that's got them today.
Sony did what Sega did back in '92. It's for the hardcore
essentially. You know what I mean? And so if Nintendo wants to be successful, well, we judge successful, because who are we? We don't, you know what I mean? For us to be successful, or for us, what I think they need to do is make something comparable, at least comparable. You don't have to beat it, but I think they'd be foolish not to attempt to.
But
that's just how I see it, though.
But why, though? Why? I mean, unless you want to play those games that Nintendo produce, what would be a reason for one of us to
Because then why would a Nintendo gamer go ahead and listen? How many of them are going to buy a Nintendo system for the 18? Yes, a lot of them maybe when you think about it. But then they're not going to sell more than the 6 or 7 million units they just sold now.
Exactly.
And I don't think they're in the business. I don't think nobody's in the business you're in the business to make money. You want your product to succeed. You want your product to sell.
Let's move on to the next one, because you're about to make my head explode talking about Nintendo. I apologize. I can only handle like 2.5 minutes of Nintendo talk before I want to slit my wrist with a butter knife. So the next topic I want to talk about is the Division. I know it's been trying to beat to death on every other podcast, but
you mean Destiny 2.0?
Well, that's also on the list. Division predictions. So instead of talking about,
I don't know.
I want to know what everybody's predictions are as to whether or not it will be successful. And by successful, I mean how long will it last? Where people are talking about, people are actually playing online. Do you think it will last as long as Destiny has?
Has anybody here played it?
No.
Play what?
Exactly.
The
The
Division.
what?
The Division?
No. I can't wait to play it though next week. I'll tell you
Next week, right?
that.
Yeah, I want to get my hands on it, and that's another thing. The whole successful does it matter if it's successful? Well, Destiny's successful, but that doesn't matter to a lot of people. They don't give a fuck about Destiny, whether it's successful or not. Did you enjoy it? That's what comes down to.
Well, but that's the problem though, is that you can't. The Division and the Destiny games that are made like that, or Paragon even, are only gonna be if me personally, if I love it, but there's no community for it, then it's gone.
Oh yeah, because it's always online.
Right.
Yeah,
So
how long is that server's going to stay up? They're not going to stay up forever.
right. So that's why I'm asking, because you have games like Titanfall, which I came into really late, and I loved it, but there's really no sense in playing it because there's no community of any sort. So, what do you guys think it's going to last as long as Destiny? Do you think it'll be better than Destiny? I mean, what are your thoughts?
As long as they keep, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I think they're being smart about holding the barrels out, the Brooklyn, the Queens, the Bronx, all those barrels. They're being smart because just like any other game that has expansion packs, that's what's going to keep it going. You dangle that crumb out there in front of a gamer, he's going to come back like, oh, I want to see what's new. So
right.
Yeah, it's going to keep it going for at least a couple of years. It depends on how. Did I get dropped again?
No. That's me being a fool, making sure that I can sign in from my PC now. I apologize, yo.
No problem. Yeah, but I mean, as long as they still have content and the game seems to improve over time, then I can see it lasting a couple of years, a few years.
Anybody else?
I'm a little worried about the variety. At the same time, I want to see it for myself.
Jack, what you got on it?
I mean, it's Ubisoft, man. So of course they made a whole bunch of promises that they're not gonna be able to, keep. So I think it's gonna be a lazy game, man. It might be fun to play, but it's gonna last longer than games like Evolve and shit like that. But I don't think it's gonna last longer than Destiny, though.
Right.
Exactly.
That's fair.
I want something than an Arrival, man. Like, I don't know if it's gonna last because Baltimore had a good point, only giving the gamers a little bit and then give you more, you have to keep them hooked. But to me, it just kind of shows the game's still not ready.
Do we know if there's a Crucible mode where there's straight on PvP like team deathmatch and that sort of thing?
No, just the Dark Zone, I think.
Yeah, from what I understand, it's just that Dark Zone area.
And the videos I've seen, granted, it's just of one game mode or whatever, but it seemed like a bunch of just crawling around, walk, crouch, crouch. I'm like, okay,
Bullet sponge.
It seems kind of almost repetitive, but.
But so, to be fair, you could also say, depending on how much footage you've seen of other titles, you could say the same thing about other games that are, I don't know if that's necessarily fair. I think they have a pretty extensive looting aspect of the game, sort of like Dying Light, where you could scavenge through cars and buildings and that sort of thing, so you can find loot, supplies that you need. So that might be a really cool aspect that they really kind of take notes from Dying Light.
Like the video that I think it was in Glitch, somebody put up. It was like a 30-minute video. The guy kind of said it right. You're shooting at shadows, watching numbers go up. That's that was pretty much.
But that's pretty much that's the RPG element to the game, and that's where I have my issue with that game.
Yeah, because
it's almost an instant disconnect because of the hyper realistic setting versus the RPG gameplay.
Exactly.
So that's the issue I have, and it's like the people that play that game, to me, you want to market it as an MMO. Now, people who play MMOs, they usually go in looking for a DPS, a healer, a this and a that. Now, you don't offer that. There's not 3 set different classes. You build your class.
Exactly.
So now there are people that this is a new MMO, because not everybody pays attention to all the marketing. Not everybody reads everything they're supposed to read.
See,
so
that's why.
Go ahead.
That's why I'm interested in it, because it's something a little different.
Dude, I play
MMO.
I'm turned off by that game big time. I don't like it. Like they're trying to market it as an MMO, and like I've said before, even with Destiny, I said I don't know if I said it in a podcast or to a friend of mine, but like even with Destiny, when I played the game, I went in thinking like it's gonna be like an MMO, and I found those 3 classes that pretty much are all the same, you know. So
yeah, but in fairness to Destiny, if you ever want it, Bungie tried to run away from the MMO moniker, almost from the beginning. They were like, no, it's not an MMO, it's a shooter with some MMO tropes. The Ubisoft is straight up saying that this is an RPG MMO, that this is what they're trying to get across to people. So in RPGs and MMOs, you have those 2 game style mechanics. You have the repeated grind for loot, the repeated missions, the fetch missions, the fetch quests, and then you have people that you take forever to die. Now, when you try to translate that to a person who has a gun and dude is just wearing a hoodie, standing in the middle of the street, how is it that he's eating all this bullets?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where people are going to get turned off. I think, unless you truly know what you're getting into, then it's going to turn some people off.
Oh, for sure.
And I got something else to add that's going to just make you guys think a little bit. Remember the game The Agent from Rockstar?
Yeah. The one that was supposed to come out and never did?
Yeah, well, I guess they renewed the trademark or something just recently, and it's supposed to be like a first person. It's supposed to be like a shooter / MMO. I don't know what it was supposed to be like exactly though. But you think Rockstar's sitting back watching and seeing how everything turns out before they even like go further with the production of their game?
Because that's what Division's doing. When you think about, and that's what Destiny, that's what Destiny 2.0 is doing, which is a segue into our next topic. But if you think about it. Destiny came out and tried to pave a new way on the console market with
no wrong with that.
Right. So Division or Ubisoft saw what they did and said, okay, we need to improve on that. We hear the crowd. Let's make our changes to adapt to what the community is saying. And I think Destiny 2.0 is getting delayed, like the rumors are saying, because they're waiting to see how the Division does it, and they're going to expand upon that. And the Rockstar game is even doing that even more so. So I like the idea of trying to change up genres, mesh genres up, and try new things. I'm all for it. As far as the Division, the only thing that's holding me back from being super excited about it is the fact that they took away environment damage. I'm so big on that, and the fact that they took that out really, really bothers me at the core. So outside of that, everything about it, I'm even okay with the graphical downgrade, but to get rid of the environment damage altogether just really bothers me.
Let me add one thing. You guys probably already know I love my RPGs, and I want to see RPGs cross over to more genres, like actually incorporate different things like shooters and stuff. So that's the thing I like about it.
What do you mean, Wolf? Like crossover? I mean, like
as in like take more aspects from other games, like fighting games, like incorporate fighting game mechanics into the RPGs, shooting mechanics, hack and slash action mechanics. Different things into the RPG.
Do you think, because I've been wondering this, you know, but do you think that might have ruined the traditional RPGs? Because like now, all we have now is action RPGs. Me,
exactly.
I like my time, you know, like the
turn-based.
The turn-based.
I miss it.
A lot of people nowadays, you know, I would say newer RPG fans, they're like, oh, I don't like the turn-based, it takes forever. But the whole menu system is what it started out as.
No, you still need strategy, and you still need strategy RPGs. I just think it's good to have more options. I like to have a variety of different things.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. But I just curious, you know, do you think like that might have taken away from, I guess, the foundation of RPG games?
You still got those games. I mean, the SRPGs are coming back.
You know? Like the last one I played that was turn-based was Child of Light, and I think Persona 5 is gonna have the turn-based style. I think.
There's a couple games out there like Star Ocean, Shin Megami Tensei. There's still some turn-based isn't dead.
No,
people just don't want to think anymore, and they want like stress-free combat, and
exactly.
They don't want to really like take their time. Like look at Final Fantasy VII. Everybody's like nobody's complaining about the combat. I personally don't like it. I prefer turn-based. I grew up on Pokemon and Chrono Cross, Xenogears, stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but do y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry again.
I think what's killing gaming as a whole is honestly the casual market. Like, once the developers learn that they can just make, a tiny little game and make it easily accessible to the masses, and they can all play it, and then they can, just add in little bits, little nuggets of content here and there, and make $40 a piece. DLC and all that. It's just ruining gaming as a whole, especially for the core player, in my opinion.
I agree. I think gamers have Stockholm syndrome, They'll take anything.
Now, at the same time, not all companies are just going and catering to casuals. I mean, you still got your Bloodborns, you still got whatever. So I would say stick with those games. They're out there.
But those games are slowly dying out. I mean, look at how things are going. I mean, a prime example is Destiny. It was a really great idea. Honestly, I played, I don't know how many hours I put into that game, but after a while, it starts to grate on you how it's just meant for the casuals. Like, you want to go and you want to team up and you want to go in and do all these different things, but like once you've done them once, you're pretty much tapped out.
I also think Activision did a lot of stuff to Destiny. Like,
yes,
they cut it here, they cut it there. They Call of Duty the shit out of the content,
exactly.
For lack of a better phrase.
And like the developers on that game, they got so fed up with it. I mean, that they started leaving the company. I mean, they lost their main writer. I think Joseph Staten was his name, and then they lost Marty O'Donnell, who was their lead music composer. And I mean, they had the thing with Marty O'Donnell. If you guys look into like the case on that, the thing that ruined it between Activision and them is he brought in a Beatle. He brought in Paul McCartney, who wrote the theme song for Destiny, and one of the executives from Activision came. He listened to the song and said, "I'm sorry, Sir Paul McCartney, your music isn't good enough for our game," and they hid it in the credits.
More like it's not shitty enough.
And then they brought in the two underling composers, and if you listen to the music from The Taken King, it's all like super upbeat. Like it's not it doesn't set the mood near as well as, in my opinion, as the music from Year One. And that's what it is. Like Activision and all these publishers, a lot of publishers are ruining because they want to make it more casual, and they want to nickel and dime the consumer to death with all these DLCs.
Speaking of DLCs, do you think what Square Enix is doing is a new wave of DLC?
Oh my God, I don't even want to talk about them. They can't give you.
That's like it might be the new thing to do now. You know what I mean?
Well, they're going to start doing it. Final Fantasy 16, whenever that gets announced, that'll probably be in parts. They'll probably cut
what
that
else
out.
is sad? I've seen even platinum games just trying to appeal more to the masses now.
Yeah.
They're even saying that, and like they officially said that in a statement. They said they're trying to make it more for a broader audience, at least with Scalebound, anyways.
Square Enix knows what they're doing with that. They know not to touch games like Dragon Quest, because they know that backlash from the community. Like that's a pretty strong following in Japan. If they were to make that into parts, everybody would just rage like way more than Final Fantasy, because that's pretty bigger. That's real bigger in Japan as opposed to like Final Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
They want to try doing that with like if you put Call of Duty and you split that up, $20 for single player, $20 for multiplayer, and $20 for co-op. Do you think that's fair, or splitting Grand Theft Auto into cities and let's just pay for half the game and
they're gonna see how far they can get with it. It's just like when Miami came out with the Wildcat, the Miami Dolphins. It's a copycat league. Everybody started doing it, and the only way it's going to stop is if you find a way to stop it. And the only way it's going to do that is if the gamers don't buy the game. So
yep.
It's a copycat league, man. So
did y'all see Jim Sterling video on this topic?
Yeah, I thought it was a really pretty brilliant. It's one of the best videos I've seen in a really long time that had a lot of merit to it, I think.
Yeah, that's basically like what he was saying is basically how I feel about the situation.
Why don't you touch on it a little bit, because I don't think everybody
He was basically saying that, the last gen went on so long that a lot of these companies thought that people didn't want to play games on consoles anymore, so they pretty much made games like episodic, like to make them more casualized, that people would buy them, and then the new consoles came out and they sold like crazy, so now it's like they was too far in development with a lot of these games to where now they just like that.
Oh, Square, yeah.
Yeah, they were. What he said was that because they were kind of waiting to see what was going to happen, and they started gearing up for PC only and mobile only, because they didn't think consoles were going to last. And so they are doing episodic because they really, like, literally, as Q4 rolled around after the consoles had launched, they were like, okay, this is the real deal. We screwed up. We got to play catch up. And that's why you're seeing these. That's why you saw a lot of remasters the first year and a half, 2 years, and that's why we're seeing episodic games now, is because they weren't ready. They weren't ready, which kind of is rather odd. Like he had a very good point, and what I'm a little confused as to why we're not seeing a lot of first-party games right now. Like, was that happening on Sony and Microsoft side as well? Because we haven't seen a lot of first-party yet either. So that's a little strange. I think there's a lot of truth to that, to what he said. So I think I now believe that's actually what happened. Yeah. I thoroughly believe it. Real quick, before we go into the next topic, I started the Clash of Clans League, Clash of Fans League, and what that is where all of us in here now and a few others that come in and out, I want to start talking about gaming from a competitive standpoint. Jack Move's buddy, Broken Games, has been dodging me in my call-outs on The Last of Us for over a year. He's a great YouTuber, there's no denying it. I like him, I like his opinions. I have nothing against the guy. But you're being a bitch right now because you're dodging the little guy, the little guy, his call-outs on playing The Last of Us, alright? I wanted to fucking split your dome, and you never, ever, ever accept my shit.
And your mama feet stink.
Yes, I feel like he's racist. I'm just gonna say it. I feel like Broken Games is racist. He's holding the white man down. I'm trying to play against him, and he's like, I don't fuck with white dudes in video games. Bullshit. Jack Moon, get your boy. But either way, now that my main man, my strong son, is here.
Yep. What up?
You're the first one. You and Dave.
Fashionably late as always.
Yes, sir.
You got your socks pressed, yo?
Me and Dredd, just to give everybody a kind of a real quick synopsis on our relationship. He invited me into his community called Glitch on Google Plus. We became friends. Everybody told me that he was the guy to beat on The Last of Us. At that point in time, I had not played it on the PS4. I had only played it on PS3. And so I downloaded it one night in the party chat because he was running his mouth. And so ever since then...
I was running my mouth. You see how this motherfucker tells stories, yo?
That's a true story. I didn't say you started it. I just said you started running your mouth. So either way, I downloaded it, and we've been playing together ever since, and he taught me how to snipe. I feel like I'm a better sniper now, and, well, there's nothing here or there. Point is that we're going to have a one-on-one battle very, very soon. We're both going to stream it so you can see it from both perspectives.
Don't stream it because neither one of you going to be able to hit shit, judging by the other night.
That makes it more fun. So me and Dredd have a little feud. I made a video about it called Subject Matter Quickscoping. I wanted to start pairing people up against one another and or teams, right, to see who's the better players at said game. Right? So,
not to interrupt, but I'm feeling that pink pony in the background, son. That's a nice touch.
You like him? That's my buddy.
Nice
Yo, is that the one that's at Walmart? Did you get that from Wally World?
I don't know. Santa brought that to the kids. I have no idea.
I was in Wally World and I saw that and I instantly thought of Dredd. I don't know. I was like, what the shit, yo?
So,
yo. I should mail this to this bastard.
Right now,
So I thought I saw Dredd coming out of that pony bar there. I've been like, what the fuck?
Nigga, that's my boy.
That's a whole different game, yo. That's a whole different game.
Right now, Jag Move is known as the pony commissioner, but if I choose to go the route of the Stony Pony, I will take that crown.
Oh, man.
Because we all know Jag Move only plays indies. We know that. So.
Yeah, they only play games made out in the back of shoe stores and shit like that.
Right. No, but seriously, so me and Dave dropped out because he heard me call him out. There it is. Dave, you and I are going to be doing our stream very soon on the Who's Better at The Last of Us.
And we could do UFC too.
Right, to make it fair.
They have the free EA access right
now. I have EA access. Do you have it on?
Well, I got it right now because they have it free. We can do the UFC thing tomorrow if you want, and then we can do Last of Us tomorrow if you want.
All right, yeah, I'm actually also hoping to do it immediately after this, if you're down.
Yeah, Mike.
I want to watch the
Yeah, son, you sound like Megatron right now, yo.
What'd you say, Dave?
You sound like Megatron.
This thing's breaking up tonight.
Nah, you and the other day, both of y'all.
Yeah, this is not good tonight, man. I thought it was because of the weather. I'm in the middle of a blizzard right now, so.
Me too.
That's dedication right there.
Yeah.
Hey, Sylvan, just real quick, since we were talking about that competitive league, I actually have my entire team in tonight. If you don't mind, they'll say hello real quick.
Hey, go ahead.
Come around on each side.
Oh, you're here.
Yeah, they're actually here. Like, we're going to jump on game battles tonight. And we were starting all these competitive leagues. We want to get something down tonight.
Oh, dang, he got his boys all in black.
Yeah.
Yo, he's ready to go. What the fuck? He got the wounds out.
This is why I duck behind my couch real quick.
Yeah, this is Captain Doss Blaze. And then we have Captain Doss Omega over here. And they're the captains of the Doss Game Clan.
That's what's up.
Send me a download of...
David, fix your mic.
You gotta fix your mic, Dave.
Hey, Omega says, what's up, Silver? He says he's gonna bust that ass and it's some Last of Us tonight, bro.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Is that better?
No.
I gotta come back. You don't leave and come back.
I can't do that.
You can.
Team DOS looking ready to go, man.
Alright, brother. You guys can jump back on. I'll be there once this is over.
All I'm gonna say is that nobody here can beat me.
Man, that was thorough right there, yo.
Oh, wait.
Jay got that's your first mistake,
something.
Jay got.
Huh?
You're overconfident, bro.
I know because it's a fact.
Then you shouldn't have to fucking go on about it, man.
Wait, what's the game?
If you know it, then you can.
Know what?
No, what's the game that he said he could beat anybody in?
Anybody.
What game?
You just whatever game you want to bring up. But
Oh,
I have to be on PC.
You can't.
Hey, can you hear me?
That's why I play.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
There you go.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right, cool. So, Patrick, tell your
What's up,
brother.
brother?
I'm game immediately after this, and I've been drinking Jack, and I'm still
We
gonna.
have an echo. Is that me?
He's been doing lines of cocaine off stripper asses all night, so you guys are fine.
But I was gonna say, send me a digital download of Call of Duty, and I'll get on with you guys. But I'm not buying that game because I don't support that game because it ruined the industry.
But you gotta do it.
Jack, you're tasked with getting Broken Games tonight on The Last of Us, so I can split his motherfucking dome once and for all. That's you're tasked with. Yeah.
I'll see you on.
Yeah. Tell that motherfucker I'm gonna stream it too. I'm gonna make fun of him when I beat his ass.
Son, you better be so on point, yo.
Is there an echo? Me?
You're running your mouth and you want to stream.
Yeah.
You better
You remember what happened to us the other night, right?
Yeah.
You was there, right?
But
All right.
when it's competitive, I bring my A game.
Dudes, I was saying, there were times where dudes didn't get a single kill in a match.
Yeah.
It was all kinds of shit.
That was dread.
When it's competitive, you bring the excuses.
No.
Yeah,
Wait, sir, I do believe you went 0-7 the other night, and I never did.
There we go.
There
we go. Paying attention. Like.
Yo, we were talking about you. We weren't talking about Dread, though.
Motherfucker dusted off the plaque and took pictures.
Look here, Mr. Smite. You use the bitch shot, man. You have no room to talk. So.
I put up the Frontier gun and still fucking not shoot anybody if we're streaming. It don't matter what you gave me if we're streaming. I ain't hitting shit. I know this.
Fair enough. Okay, let's get back on the subject. I just want to make everybody aware that we are going to start doing some competitive one-on-one team versus team. Don's already looking for folks tonight. If anybody's watching that's down to get down on some Call of Duty Black Ops on PS4, beware because he will bust that ass.
So I have a question then. Is this like only pertaining to console people or everybody? Everybody's down to play against me.
Anybody and everybody.
J-God, what do you want to play on PC, J-God?
Oh, whatever. Counter-Strike, Ghost in the Shell. If it's Ghost in the Shell, you're going to get...
I got Ghost in the Shell.
Oh, you ready to get work? You ready to get that work?
I'm going to tell you something. Something.
What's up?
If you beat me, it's no big deal. You've been using mouse and keyboard most of your adult life. Now, when I shoot you in the face and I've only been gaming on PC for 3 weeks, for 3 months, I don't want you to feel a certain kind of way about it, all right?
Nah, I'm not gonna cry, man. I'll just block you, but I won't cry.
I believe you.
Y'all are both good at the.
All right, man. Keep it moving.
Yeah, let's get back on topic.
Cool. So the next topic, I apologize to the folks watching that. Man, there was just not a whole lot of stuff that I felt like talking about this time, so I got some really.
So you bring the whole podcast to a standstill?
Oh. Yeah. Well, we got Destiny 2. Your thoughts on that? Everybody likes to pretend like they hated that game, but I know a lot of you played it for hundreds of hours. Anybody got any thoughts on Destiny 2? How it'll do? What it'll be like? If it'll be more of the same? If they'll do improvement? Did anybody have any thoughts on Destiny 2?
Did you read the Forbes article I put in the community today?
Yes.
Yes, I did.
I actually have to strongly agree with that article. For those who didn't read it, what the article was saying is that Destiny Year 2 just might be too big for Bungie to keep going with. And what the author of the article was trying to state is that people are thinking they're going to get a brand new game, like a whole Destiny 1 all over again. And it's starting to look more and more like the trend is that you're going to get like another
DLC.
Taken King, like another DLC, like another Taken King. And I can see that because their whole 10-year plan, and I don't think it's going to be what everybody thinks it's going to be. I think they're going to give you maybe 2, like the article said, maybe 2 or 3 more areas, some more, like an extra class, and I think people are in for a shock. And on console space, consoles aren't used to that. That's what, like, you do with an MMO, what Activision or Blizzard does with WoW. You know, they release an expansion every so often and keep it moving. I don't think that's ever really been attempted on console like that. So it's interesting to see what happens with this moving forward, if that is indeed the plan that they go with.
I think that's exactly what they're going to do as well. I mean, because it'd be a huge surprise. I mean, a pleasant one, but it'd be a huge surprise to me if they actually released Destiny 2 this early. I know that a lot of people are thinking that's what they're going to do, but I mean, if you look at it, it hasn't been quite 2 years, really. I mean, that's a lot of game to make in that period of time. I mean, I think they worked on Destiny 1 for what, like almost 4 years, 3 or 4 years before they released it. And look how much content it had when it came out. To me, Destiny didn't even feel like a full game until the Taken King came out. So I think they'd be.
Is this game only going to be on Xbox One and PS4, or is it going to be last gen as well?
I think it'll only be Xbox One and PlayStation 4. I mean, if they go last gen, if you've ever played it, I have it on last gen as well, and it's like looking through a fishbowl.
It's like trying to play Battlefield on the Xbox One.
Yeah, I will say one thing. I mean, it's a 1-to-1 recreation of the PlayStation and Xbox one game on 360 and PS3. So they did an excellent job there. All they did is the graphic, like they took out a lot of the effects and stuff like that, and then of course the textures are real muddy. But other than that, they did a really good job. Now you look at stuff like the new Call of Duty Black Ops 3 on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, and it's a travesty. So I mean, I got to give them credit for that. But anyways, back to Destiny. I think Destiny 2.0 is probably at least, I say at very least, a year off, or 2 years off. So it'd probably come out 2017, the end of 2017. Just because they know if they release another, like if they release Destiny 2.0 and it only has as much content as Destiny 1, like right off the bat, we'll crucify them. Like it'll be horrible. The backlash should be crazy. So I think we're going to get like a Destiny expansion.
Right, that's fair. I agree with that.
I think it's going to be too many.
But here's my problem with Destiny. Why is it that Warframe has more content than Destiny?
Because it was PC based and they weren't trying to.
It doesn't matter. It's PC. No, I have a friend who plays it on console.
I'm not done.
He plays it heavily on PS4.
Master Race, calm down. Look.
No, I'm being serious. Like why does that Warframe have more content?
Because I'm getting there, right? I don't believe that whatever it's called, Warframe, they didn't try to create something new on console, right? But what Warframe did was just take more of what was already on the PC and bring it to console. What Destiny tried to do is merge several genres together, right? Which is
have you played Warframe before?
Warframe's almost the same thing as Destiny, bro.
Yeah, like Warframe, Destiny are always compared.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough. I didn't play it a whole lot because I didn't.
I think what it comes down to is Destiny had a much bigger budget and they have a lot more money to have to make back.
This is true. This is true, but like Warframe has like space battles and on the planet battles and such, and they have like the whole solar system.
Warframe also has Warframe also has $99 microtransactions.
Exactly, that's what I said.
Buy. So that game is funded directly through the player base.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, it's funded by the player base, but Destiny has a bigger budget.
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
But at some point, I'm sorry, guys, to cut you off.
No,
a console publisher at some point will cut off the budget because that's why you think there's microtransactions now in Destiny, and they're being used to fund them little events that they do, like this Valentine's Day event that's coming up. That's not Activision putting that money there for that. That's people that bought them freaking advanced tokens and everything. If you listen to what Bungie was saying.
They bought that
so at some point, they had a $500 million marketing budget, right? I'm thinking throughout the whole duration of the project. So at some point, the developer, in the behest to make money, is going to say, okay, we're not spending any more of our money on anything concerning this. You have to find a way to fund that. Now, when you make a free-to-play game on the PC, you use your assets, you do everything you can do. Now, you go out there. Now, after a while, if the people like the content, they're going to continue and they want to buy it. You give them that crap. There are people buying better suits, better this, better that. That's going. And then to keep that going, you got to keep giving them content. At some point, Destiny's going to get cut off.
I hear you, but regardless, Destiny had a bigger budget starting off than Warframe did. I mean, I think we all know that. I mean, like, so.
Well, yeah, that's not to be that's fact. You can't.
Yeah,
argue
so
that.
like my thing is why is the Warframe has more content? You can do more compared to Destiny. I think that bothers me the most about the game. It's like,
I mean, there's probably a lot of different things that lead into that. Like, you know, Destiny's on multiple different consoles that they had to do with. They had, like, you know what I'm saying, bigger budget, but you know they did way more.
Okay, but again, they had a bigger budget, so that means they can do
Activision.
More.
That's why Activision started piecemealing the content. Because they have to make money. It's an investment. For the publisher, it's an investment. I don't believe Destiny the game that came out was Destiny the game the way Bungie intended it to come out. I believe Bungie put their game together, and Activision said, okay, we're going to cut this, and this is going to be the House of Wolves. We're going to cut this, and this is going to be for this. We're going to cut this, and we're going to do... And that's how you got a game that came out with like 20 missions, not even no side missions, a couple of strikes, and you had to wait for the raid to come.
It was boring, in my opinion.
The game seemed so empty when I played it.
When it first came out, yes. Now, to be fair to the game, because I did do all the raids at the time when they released it. I was in the top 2% in the world for that freaking game. Now, if you play the game, it's a much fuller experience, and there's a lot to do. You will spend days if you don't use the tokens. It will take you some time to get to the end game content that's available now. When they released it day one, and the dudes were so bored they stood and shot at a cave for hours just to get
Hell yeah.
I think I've seen that.
You know what they need to do? They need to come out and be more open with the gamers, what their actual plans are with the content.
You're asking for honesty? Good luck.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, they ain't gonna do that.
I guess we want to rape your pockets. We want to take everything you got.
Yeah.
That's like when you tell your chick, "Don't worry, I won't come in your mouth," yo. Like, come on, man.
You know you're gonna.
Who's gonna do that, yo?
You went there, bro.
Here's my thing about it. If they do approach it like that, right? And like, what if they apply it to some other type of genres? Because I know that sports games, right? They come out every year or whatever, and like a lot of people have been like, that could have been DLC. What if they like? Is this something that we're opposed to, or like?
I would love if they just gave a roster update every
year, right? Like,
Yeah.
like they can definitely apply this to other genres too. That like year by year, we're not seeing that much of a leap. You know what I'm saying? But that.
Let's leave the money on the table. They ain't gonna do that.
Yeah.
That's the main reason why you don't see those sports games on PC. Maybe you see 2K, but people are gonna buy that for the my gem type of atmosphere.
You think people are gonna buy EA sports games?
Master Race is touchy, bro. The Master Race is touchy, boy.
That's why sports games are only worth $1.50 at GameStop too.
Yeah.
If you hit that cutoff point where the season is almost over, you ain't getting another roster update. You might as well use that disc as a coaster. You ain't getting nothing for it.
Let's go and switch over to Kojima and how he's been traveling around the different first-party studios over at Sony. We know that Sony shares resources amongst their developers. What's everybody's thoughts on why he's doing that, and what do you think of the future plan there?
I don't care what he does, but I want him to rebrand the Silent Hills game and create a new IP. That's what I want.
Reboot?
I think Konami will sue the shit out of him if he tried to do that.
Well, if he changes the name.
Yeah, that's just like Mighty Number 9, right? It's exactly like Mega Man, but they can't do anything about it. Like,
well, he's also the creator of the dude doing. He's also the creator of Mega Man.
Mega Man, yeah.
Kojima didn't create, if I'm not mistaken, did not create Silent Hill.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
It's from his studio, I think.
But a lot of the people who worked on Silent Hills, the original, are probably going to follow him to his new studio.
That would be
great,
nice.
actually.
Because all they own is the name and maybe a proof of concept. So if he changes it enough, you should be able to
When it comes to Kojima, all I want to know is whose wife he fucked in order to get the treatment that he got from Konami.
Yep, he did something dirty.
Not even he did something. He got somebody's daughter pregnant, or he did something because
Jesus.
Well, Japan's like really strict. They have a very strict society. I mean, it could have been something really small that we would be like, okay, that's no big deal. We're still best friends, and they will like crucify you for it. It's like, time to die. You're done.
It's the real life freedom wars over there. A million years. I'm like, God, damn. You walked too far. 30 years.
And for life. They didn't even let that guy go to the Game Awards, Claire.
Exactly.
You know what you have to do in America to not be invited to your own award for a game?
Apparently not a lot if you're the right person, because Charlie Sheen admitted to giving women the HIV, and nothing happened to him yet. So, I mean, it depends on who you are in America.
You got that strong stuff, man. You got that herpes AIDS, man.
I don't know, man. I just think Kojima might be overrated, man.
I want to know why everybody worships him. Like, they put him on this pedestal higher than everybody else.
Okay, like Metal Gear Solid 3 to me was like, in the Metal Gear series, is probably one of the best games in the Metal Gear series. I'm still confused with the story, though. I don't know. It doesn't make much sense, though. Huh?
Yeah, Snake.
I can't hear you.
I'm saying Snake Eater.
Yeah. I beat that on PS2, and it's one of the best ones. But like the story is here and is everywhere, man. You know what I mean? Like nobody really understands it.
It's a triple double cross.
I kind of liked the earlier ones in the series, like chronologically.
Yeah, your thought one was awesome.
Well, because the thing is, Eva Snake's Revenge is not in the first game. Apparently, it isn't. In case you guys don't know which one that is, that came on NES.
The NES. Snake's Revenge was the second one.
Yeah, but it was the first one that was released. But like story-wise, it's not even the first one.
No, the MGS was just regular Metal Gear.
Yeah, but like Jesus Snake Revenge, though, you know what I mean? It's the same dude.
That story and timeline chronologically, I mean, it's all it's convoluted. I can't figure it out. I don't think anybody really knows except for Kojima, and he's kind of iffy on it.
It's just some pretentious shit that he did, and people love it.
The reason why people love him so much is because of Metal Gear Solid 1. I mean, I played it on PlayStation when it first came out back in the day, and it was the first game of its kind. Like, I'm old as dirt, bro. I played all the originals.
I want to know why they worshipped him. They were crying for him at the awards. Like, they were literally breaking down in tears, crying for the man.
I'm like, this dude doesn't even know you.
Like, that's some love right there. When they threaten to kill you every time you say you're gonna stop making the game, like, I love you so much, I'll fucking murder you.
Show me your back. It's time to die.
I don't want to sound negative. It's just I think he's overrated, man. Like he only.
I agree with you because I don't know why everybody worships him.
I believe he's earned whatever hype he gets concerning the Metal Gear series.
That's what he's known for, man. That's the thing.
But,
I don't know.
So would you rather be known for one good thing or a bunch of mediocre things?
But he like MGS1 was like the best one though. Like that bitch.
I would agree there also.
98. Like, come on, bro.
Because look what they did back then. It was innovative. The whole controller shit. I mean, so much of that game there are a lot of tropes in that game that continue to today.
Oh, I'm saying, I was ready for PT, yo. I was ready for PT. When I fucking played that demo, I was like, yo, I cannot wait for this game to drop.
Yo, I was not ready for PT. When that bitch jumped out of the hallway, nigga, nah.
That was it.
I wasn't ready for that, yo.
You can't just write off all the work that he's done as far as all the storylines all the things that he's considered and all the thought that's gone into all that story, like even how it plays into reality, like shit that's really going on in the real world that people don't talk about.
Before it even started going on in the real world too. That's what's funny. Like Sons of Liberty talked about a lot of things that go on today, as far as them data mining you and forever watching you and everything.
He was on some shit.
Yeah, I mean, but that stuff has been around since, the book 1984. I mean, there's always going to be some sort of weird tactical espionage that's going on.
Yeah.
We just don't hear about it as much because those guys are doing their jobs correctly.
But to elaborate what David asked, you know, what you think about Kojima being on I call it the World Tour of Sony. That's pretty cool.
With Muhammad, my man.
Huh?
Nah, I started singing the Tribe Called Quest song. I'm sorry.
I think that's good. Business wise, I just hope. Well, I don't hope. If I was Kojima, I would just stay independent. You know what I mean, and not be under somebody's umbrella. You know, be my own boss.
I just want to know why it's news, though.
Huh?
Why is that? Why is it news?
Because they're tweeting it out. I mean, building up hype.
Yeah, he's been with Konami for so long. That's why. Yeah. That's only.
No, that I get. I mean, what is him going to this studio and that studio? Like, what does that do for anything?
Like, they've been talking about this for months.
They trying to make Sony, like, you know.
It's all about hope.
Have you seen the fucking news articles people talk about these days?
They're pimping that dude out, yo. Yeah, there's a lot of non-news nowadays. I'll agree with that. That's why I'm asking. I consider this a non-news story. Like, tell me he decided on a project. Tell me what project he's working on. Tell me something like
years.
I think they're trying to tell people that he's starting to work on things. He's starting to look around and see what he wants to work with. If it's going to be like VR or not, or you know what I'm saying. There's a lot of questions like people want answered, and they're just running with that. You know, they know that people want to hear that information about like what his game is. So I think that's what they're running with.
The problem is that we're not actually hearing what it is. Like they're just speculating on things. They gotta stop doing that.
You're leaving breadcrumbs here, so you fucking eat that shit.
They just got him standing next to Cerny in photo ops. They're getting their money's worth is what they're doing. Stand here, smile. Yes, okay.
Son, did you see how quickly Sony came out with that video after my man came out and said he was? It was literally like
they were still in the meeting,
but they knew they was gonna do it. That's the thing.
Like they shook hands and took a video.
Yeah,
They're like, okay.
And these motherfuckers were set up on the couch and shit with a beer, like, yo, we got something to tell you.
Okay, as soon as he signs his soul over for however long, Rose that shit was crazy.
Start smiling.
Dude, when I watched that video, I was half expecting doves to pop out of boxes in the background. It was ridiculous. I was like, you guys are still in the meeting, bro. Really? They didn't wait an hour. They were like, no, we're doing this now.
Yeah, it was like the video came out like in the morning, right? Like midnight or something.
Media ran out.
We know that Sony shares their developers, you know, whether it be engines or advice or whatever, or even just actual people. So I'm thinking maybe he's helping with other projects or like Dred said, gathering ideas. I don't know. I just think it's interesting. I mean, there's no doubt that the guy has talent. I think his storytelling is a little overhyped because a good story.
Convoluted.
Yeah, a good story is not convoluted. A good story is that you understand it. Like, it's not like you make every game be like North Sky. I mean, come on.
I don't totally
know about that. Yeah, exactly. Because like, have you watched Japanese anime sometimes and like you watch the whole thing and you're like, I'm still fucking lost. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how they tell stories sometimes.
Yeah, and at the very last episode, they'll finally tie everything together. So
yeah,
I get you to keep watching.
You need crib notes for anything Japanese, to be honest, you know.
They literally drop you in the center of the story in like almost every anime. You're never there from the beginning. You're dropped off dead in the middle, not understanding anything.
Yep.
How many people here through show of voice are digital or physical? I'm just asking, who all is physical here outside of the master race?
Right here.
It's a mixture.
Definitely physical.
Oh man, that's a good question, bro. I'm both.
Dude, everybody go. Everybody get what they are.
I went through a mostly digital phase, and now I'm back into a combination phase.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. It depends on the game, you know. With my sports games, I get them digital because it's an every year game. If it's
that was mid-sentence, yo. They cut him off mid-sentence, yo. Thank you.
Dave Goldie, he's taking people with him every time he dropped.
Yeah, snake or what?
The problem with digital is that you can't really get anything for your collection down the road. Like good luck selling it.
I agree with that.
You can kind of
selling it, Wolf,
a lot, but
so I'm very
collection, Wolf.
Not that I would sell my collection, but if you ever wanted to.
Just like just the fact that there's something to physically look at too. It's just something as simple as that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like to look in my collection and see it all. You know what I'm saying? Like, have you ever gone to a channel where you see somebody and they're like, oh, my game collection, it's like tons of games. It's just awesome, bro. You know what I'm saying? It feels right. When I look at my fucking game collection on PC, I'm like, it's a good amount, but it's you know what I'm saying? Or even the digital on my PS4. It's just like, it's there. It's like, yeah, I get it. This is to have the same effect.
Here's the thing. People forget that you can get good deals on physical. You can buy them in the bargain bin. You can also get like pre-order sales for like half off, pretty much.
Amazon got that new deal going on. That Prime.
Yeah, if there's a better deal going on digitally though, then why not? And if worse comes to worse, you can always print a box off.
Hold up, you're giving my question. Shut up. you're giving away my meat and potatoes, man. So I have a two-part question. So the reason why I asked that question is because I want to know if these digital flash sales entice you physical guys to buy digital, and what do digital sales entice you, and what moving forward would make you convert all the way to digital? And I will say this before y'all answer. The reason why I ask is because there's rumors. I'm a Sony MVP, right? To those that don't know, Jack Move. That's where I'm actually. I have a certification next to my name for actually being a Sony pony. You are self-appointed. I am actually got certified. You go look at it, and it says No. So in there, we filled out some surveys a while back, and if you read between the lines, they were basically getting at that. Would you be excited to be able to share your digital collection via friends and/or sell it back? Now, what I took from that is that there is something in the works that they already have implemented, because there's no other way to make it work outside of already having something implemented into the digital sales. Whether it's like some kind of key code or whatever that was, that digital sale was allocated to your console. So if they end up allowing you to sell your games to your friends or trade or whatever, borrow, to me that will help entice the physical guys to move over all the way to digital, like what's already been widely accepted on the PC side, right? I for one, I understand what everybody says about collections. My thing is, I would trade games in on a whim on a regular basis, right? So like for me, digital it forces me to keep games that normally I would get rid of. You know what I mean? So I like the idea of digital, and I got around to really enjoying my digital collection I get on the menu and I can see all my games right there. I think that's really cool, as opposed to my physical collection, which is all down here below. It's not, to me, they're the same thing now. Like seeing stuff on the bookshelf or seeing things on the digital wall, to me, is equivalent. Like
there's two more aspects. One, of course, the internet, and the second one, the fact that when you go to a store and you see something in a store, you want to buy it. Mm-hmm. It entices consumers. Yeah. It gets their name out there too. People see something, it's advertisement right there.
Here's an aspect of digital downloads that a lot of people forget, and especially like with games like Destiny and stuff like that. I was thinking about it the other day. I set my son on my lap and I played Super Mario Brothers 3 with him. And, I mean, that game came out in, 1988, 89? In 10 years, if your PlayStation 4 breaks or something goes wrong, and you won't have those games anymore. We won't be able to share them with the next generation. And if you look at Destiny and these games that are always online, once those servers go down, it's gone forever. In 20 years, I won't be able to show my grandkids what I used to do when I was a kid the way that my father did with me. And I find that kind of sad.
Sometimes you just want to pick up a retro.
That shit pulled at the heartstrings.
Pick up a retro console, popping a game in, like you can keep the game and you always will have it, and the console may not always work, but the games are going up in price. These old school games, like try looking for like Crash Bandicoot, see how much that costs if you were to go buy it.
Because they're better than new games, man. Like, go back and play the very first Super Mario Brothers, and you'll be like, God dang, this is harder than playing, first-person shooter. And especially like Mega Man and stuff like that. Go back and play that; that'll make you pull your hair out.
Mm-hmm. I miss cartridges then. I miss like getting an asthma attack trying to fucking make a game work, yo.
Oh, yeah.
Sticking them in the freezer.
I've never done that before.
Everybody would have a different way to make the game work.
I'm telling you, I blew in the cartridges like a porn star, bro. I was like,
and then you have to blow and leave no spit, though. So
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Blow through the shirt.
Shit.
Blow through the shirt. They get to bang slightly on the NES.
Remember, for me, man, like I had a friend that had we call it he had the special touch to make the game work. Mm-hmm. Like we tried to make this 10-yard fight game work, wouldn't work. The kid came home from his parents because they went out or whatever. He came in there, touched it, boom, worked every single time, man. It was like every damn time.
Some people's little rituals work, yo.
So remember putting in an NES game and then getting to like the last level and that hoe like scrambled on you?
Oh God! You gotta play through it.
I took my NES back in like 91, and I threw that bitch through a window, and that hoe still works. I was on like the third store. I threw that hoe through a window. That hoe still works.
Damn.
There's one more thing though.
With an Xbox.
If you want to pass your collection on to your kids and whatnot, you got to remember that these discs, they're not going to last forever. They're biodegradable, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to last for a while.
Potato will get scrambled though.
I got a question about that. Does anyone think that Blu-rays will go out and that they'll start using like SD cards? Because you can hold like a lot on these little SD cards as opposed to like 50 gigs on a Blu-ray.
He already has.
It's great to say that because David and I, Silver and I, we talked about this I think a couple weeks ago. For Blu-ray, for Sony's sake, Blu-ray probably not going anywhere. Why? Because Sony invested into Blu-ray along with I think like 4 other companies. Now on Microsoft end and Nintendo, they can either use it or go away from it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a yes and a no. It could go away. But you are right. USB drives or thumbsticks, they hold terabytes of space. So you know, there's a possibility that stuff can go away. But then again, it'll have to be like a market shift. So if more people, if 2 companies do it, then the third one's gonna follow suit. You know what I mean?
Well, a RAM chip will never be as cheap as a CD, though. That's the thing. Like the reason why we use that media is the cheapest media that they can get, and that's what they're going to keep using until RAM chips are cheaper than spending 5 cents on a DVD or on a Blu-ray, which I don't think is going to happen. Then I don't think they're going to move to that. I think the future is going to be all digital. Yep, I think what they're going to do is they're going to sell us a box for our collection, and inside the box, printed on the box, will be a code. And that code will be a key for your game. And when you want to trade it in, you go in, you give them the box, or you give them the code, and that constitutes a trade-in.
So Silver,
I honestly hope they never do all digital, dude. As much as people try to say it, you know what I'm saying, and a lot of the industry insiders are like, yes, this is the future, it's gonna happen. It's like, yeah, but you were also the ones that said that consoles were gonna die this generation, and you're clearly wrong. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes down to it, it's like we'd be giving up so many options to go all digital that would it really be worth it? Like you couldn't do game rentals anymore. You had to rely on a good internet connection. You have to make your console be able to sign in every once in a while to like verify and like it's just
yeah, but those are all things that just apply to you. They don't apply to the company, and the company only cares about what's best for their bottom line.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. But the consumer is still going to buy what's best for them. They're still like
the consumer's going to learn to take it however they can get it. Look at what we do now with games.
No, you can't say that.
Look at Steam. I mean, look at how Steam works.
Look at how look at the state that the Xbox One is in right now. That's because consumers collectively stood up and said, "No, we're not going to."
Okay, because it
was marketed horribly.
Because it was Microsoft, and everybody likes to hate some. When you put a face on a corporation, or when you put a face to the big evil, that there's something that they can get at, people are gonna once in a blue moon. Yeah, get pitchforks and shit. Definitely, no doubt about that. Yeah. But when you got the whole industry moving forward as a tandem, look at this what we were talking about earlier with the episodic shit. How quickly this shit has caught on, and gamers are still gonna do it. So if you start leaving gamers less and less of an option, they're gonna adopt it regardless. Especially if you do it the way it's supposed to be done, since it's less cost for them. Since they don't have to ship, they don't have to print on the disc, they don't have to do everything. I guarantee you, take $10, $5 to $10 off of every digital game, and watch what happens.
Exactly. That's exactly what's going to happen. Like a prime example, if you don't think anything like that's possible, just look at Destiny and their microtransactions. Like, you can get on the Destiny forums right now and argue until you're blue in the face. You guys shouldn't be doing these microtransactions because, you're ruining it for us. And they're like, no, it's our money. We'll do what we want. And they don't understand that there's repercussions for everybody when they spend their money on microtransactions. Because every time they spend on that, it validates Bungie's decision to nickel and dime the customer.
That's
what that creates.
Yeah, I'm just saying, not everyone is in the same boat. What happens to the people who buy games by renting them? You know what I'm saying? Like that would be done.
Well, no. I mean, think about this. For the renting aspect, imagine a Netflix for games. You want to play a game for 3 days? You download it. I will take it a step farther. In the near future, we will not have consoles the way we have consoles now. It's all going to be a streaming service. Basically, you'll load it up to your hard drive for however long you're going to play it, and then you'll play it, and then it'll automatically discard it after you're done.
Yeah, it's the same argument that Dread and I use for VR. The fact that every industry is already utilizing VR in one way, shape, or form, and the fact that Netflix is doing 75 million users now, every other industry is using digital, going digital, right? Voodoo is doing extremely well for rentals on movies and that sort of thing. Like Sony's PSN, for instance, the PlayStation Store is really used a lot for movies, rentals, and purchases. Everything's going digital. Look at Roku and Apple TV. That's the wave of the future. If you don't believe that, then you're in the dark. So what we have to be concerned with is how they're going to implement all that.
Yeah.
Every aspect of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From all mediums, all entertainment mediums.
I'm not saying that it couldn't happen. It could damn well happen, but it's just we're giving up a lot of options by letting it happen. You know what I'm saying? Like
I feel you.
Like for instance, like that whole online movie thing, right? I bought a lot of games on my a lot of movies on my PS3, and once you download it, it's locked, right? So now they have the whole you're not even able to buy and download the game onto your PS4 anymore, right? Like it automatically just streams to your box or anything, right?
What about your movies?
All those movies are still tied to my PS3. Like that's fucking retarded. You know what I'm saying? If I had the physical copy, I would be able to put it in my PS4 and play it. But because they're tied to the console, you know what I'm saying? It's just a lot of options.
That's jacked up. That should be tied to your account.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then again, Sony, they're not a bunch of network geniuses either.
But look at PS Now. I mean, PS Now's obviously working, or they wouldn't keep it around.
That's what I'm saying.
How many people you hear just out of us right here? How many of us complain about games being chopped up, not enough content, and yearly release rushed games with they're basically missing modes and they're like the same mechanics over, and they have microtransactions, but then we go out and buy them every year.
Nah.
See, that's the problem.
That's what we've been saying in the podcast.
That's why I won't buy Star Wars.
Yeah. But here's the thing: if you think that shit's a problem, then why are you buying into it all the time? That's the thing.
Just kind of like Joey said, though, it's like, what's the point when it's like the general consumer is going to buy it up anyway, and we're going to have to take it anyway?
You are part of that problem. That's the thing.
How much is what? It has to be a collective whole. It has to be everybody that's, we don't want this. You know what I'm saying? It can't just be, okay, I'm not going to buy it. There's 50 other Joe Snows that are going to go out there and buy fucking Call of Duty with all the DLC. You know what I'm saying?
I disagree, though, to a certain degree, because everything counts. Every time you speak with your wallet, it counts.
There has to be a singularity event. There has to be something that happens that makes everybody say, you know what, we've had enough. As a consumer base, as a whole, we're no longer going to take this, and you're either going to create full content games and release them for our purchase, or we're just not going to take it. We're not going to have your business.
One ripple in the ocean does not create a tidal wave.
You're throwing metaphors? What's going on?
How is friends?
You are part of the issue. I just don't think that one person is selected. It's not going to make a difference.
But then you get people who think like that, and one person that's not going to make a difference, then they're not going to do nothing. It has to start somewhere, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when it comes to gamers are the most sawed-off, beat-off consumer that exists in the world.
But we're becoming the largest consumer in the world, so our voice is going to carry sooner or later. Something will happen. There will be a singularity event, and we will.
Yeah, just like the Xbox One when that launched, and everybody stood up for that.
Yeah, DRM was that singularity for Xbox, and it ruined everything for Xbox One.
So that's what I'm saying, though. I don't think people at that time were ready, and I still don't think people are ready to have their goals online. That was a big issue.
It was all marketing. It's all marketing. They marketed it horribly. If they would have took a completely different approach to it, through convenience at it. I mean, they were talking about TV stuff and oh, you can have your NFL on your TV. No one cared about that.
Yeah, they were saying a lot of cool stuff though. They were you were going to be able to trade with certain family members that you have, up to 10 families. They were saying a lot of good stuff too. It's just I don't think people are ready to go. I'm not ready to go fucking fully digital. You know what I'm saying?
But I don't think it was the aspect of it being fully digital. I think what really got people pissed off was Microsoft, and then they wanted to have DRM on physical media.
Yeah.
No, because the fact, if your internet goes down, you can't even play games.
Yeah. Your console literally turned into.
Well, you heard what Dan Matrix said. He said, "Move to where the internet is." Or they got a 360.
Yeah, he said he might
like quit the very next day or something like that.
Nor do I think that everyone's internet is ready for all digital. Like, there's data caps going off left and right. You know what I'm saying? It would not be a great thing for gamers. Like, I'm just saying.
No, nobody's saying that it's a great thing. I mean, everything, whether good or bad, is subjective to the individual that is dealing with it at that point in time.
Mm-hmm.
But what I am saying is that it is becoming more of a media trend.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, media changes are always going to be like. They're always gonna look at Nintendo. Like, Nintendo didn't want to move over to CDs because they didn't want load times. And then what happened to Nintendo? They got left behind, and that's why the N64 didn't do nearly as well as the PlayStation. If everybody starts moving over to non-digital media, and then one company's like, "I'm gonna stick with digital media," they're risking taking a chance of being thought irrelevant.
Yeah, but Nintendo's so stubborn because even when they went to disc, they went to their own proprietary disc with the GameCube, and even the DVDs for the Wii U are proprietary.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like, there's always ways. Apparently, there's always ways around something.
Well, that's their version of what's it called?
Blu-ray, right?
Yeah. Dual layer disc or something like that.
Okay, yeah. Because they didn't want to pay Sony, I think, the licensing fee for Blu-ray.
I think they should just go with cartridges. The 3DS is already doing that, so they should.
I would love to see cartridges come back, but they just take so much to manufacture.
That's what the NX remember. They had cartridges.
Who's it? I'm sorry. Somebody's echoing, man. It's giving me a headache.
Is it me?
I don't know. Whoever's listening to the speakers has to echo.
Oh, I got headphones on.
I got headphones.
I got headphones.
Yeah.
I got these Dookie A50s that I hate, but I use anyway.
I'm going to move on to the next topic, which is now that we're all connected, since they're talking about being.
Are we on air? Can somebody else check it? I've been trying to tell David we're probably not on air.
No, it's not.
It says we are. I don't know.
This is live.
And I see off air right here on where I'm on the podcast.
I don't see it in my subscription.
If this is off air, I'm not doing it.
I think we've been off air most of the podcast.
Are you serious?
It says live in the corner, though.
Yeah, it says live on mine. There's an easy way to find out.
On YouTube either.
Well, what it is when it's done, then he has to just make it unprivate, basically.
Oh, okay.
It's probably one of those.
No, I haven't. I didn't change anything. I did the same way every time.
If you go to YouTube, it says the event will start soon, so you might have never hit on air.
Nah, it says live on my screen now.
Yeah, but try to watch the stream though. But anyways, go with your topic.
So now that we're talking about on the digital, now that we're more connected online than ever before, how is that affecting the single player entertainment? I found myself getting bored with games that I normally wouldn't have gotten bored with campaign-wise because I'm missing that interaction with friends while being competitive or whatever playing online. Is that affecting anybody else?
Yeah, look at Fallout 4. The whole reason I have been playing a ton of Fallout 4 is because, I mean, I know it's going to be a good game because I like Fallout 3, but it's just, I got so used to Destiny and other games like that. It becomes the norm, you know? That's why people, when they buy Call of Duty and other first-person shooter games, they go directly to the multiplayer. They don't even bother the campaign anymore.
Right.
It doesn't bother me. The only thing that I have, is like, look, when Uncharted comes out, am I going to jump on multiplayer or single player first? But other than that, dude, like, I've been playing a bunch of games that are heavy on single player story and just having a blast with them. Like,
so you're a true gamer.
I mean, we all try to be. We all strive to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, with this being a definition of gamer, you know what I'm saying? Like, you play Call of Duty. I don't know.
I prefer the single player nature of games. I usually tend to. I enjoy multiplayer, but multiplayer is always an afterthought to me.
I like strategy. I want to start getting into more real-time strategy. I hope more PC games. I can already see more PC games and console games crossing over.
You want to play RTS games, Wolf?
Yeah, except I don't like clicking the mouse. That's the only thing.
That's the only way to play him, then, bro.
Yeah.
It's the only way to play him.
Yo, just get a nice, comfortable mouse. You'll be good.
Yeah.
I'll play you a game of chess.
Okay. I'm a chicken guy.
I think we're definitely going to see a lot more RTS games make its way to console, though, because, I mean, they're going to implement keyboard and mouse sooner or later.
Dude, I kind of doubt it, man.
Yeah.
Why?
Because the community has never been there and won't ever be there, probably.
Like, if you look at
You need the mouse and keyboard to play RTS, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're both going to get mouse and keyboard support sooner or later. Like, they both confirmed that already, so...
Hey,
so
that means I can plug in my MMO mouse and have the same features on it, or what?
I don't know.
Because my MMO mouse has like 20 buttons.
Well, I mean, there's also button mapping already on both of the consoles too, so maybe you can just put whatever you want.
Look, recognize my Logitech mouse is what I'm saying.
And change all the other buttons.
No. I don't think you understand what I'm saying. My mouse has 20 buttons on its own, so like it's not about button mapping or anything. The console stuff has to be able to recognize the drivers of it in order for it to work.
Yeah, but I mean they'll eventually like implement that kind of stuff, just like how they implement certain headsets now. Like only certain headsets work with PS4 right now because they've done the drivers and everything else like that.
Also,
I think it'll be up to the developer of the game. That's what's going to be. Like you'll be able to use your mouse and keyboard, but it'll be a very basic functionality.
But
you have to remember that Logitech developers. Like
Logitech doesn't create games; they just make hardware.
Yeah, they are PC developers putting their game on the console, so I'm pretty sure that they'll.
I understand.
Yeah, but it's actually going the other way now.
I understand that, but Logitech doesn't make games; they just make hardware. So, like, my game doesn't say, "Oh, you have a Logitech mouse." My operating system, I had to install the Logitech drivers to it, and then from there, I got to program the mouse, then go to the game and use it.
Okay, well, if they don't have that, then they'll have one that you can purchase that will be able to be used on it.
I'm not gonna do that, man. I'm not gonna.
So then that's.
Listen. It's no master race because me and Silver both like talked about this before. That's like me. I own a Logitech steering wheel that works perfectly fine on PS3 and my PC, but no, I can't use that wheel on my PS4. Why is that?
Because they have to implement the drivers for you. You answered your own question.
No wheel from last generation works on a newer console. That's both consoles combined.
What he's trying to say is he's getting the functionality. You can get the basic functionality if he plugs in his mouse, but he won't be able to use like the macro buttons and stuff like that because they won't have it implemented in the drivers.
I shouldn't have to go out and buy a second wheel in order to play a racing game on PS4.
Yeah, well, I mean, they'll eventually implement that over time.
They won't. They're not. They're not going to. They even stated that they're not.
I can't say that they're not going to. They've added a lot of extra.
Dude, if that was the case, then Logitech would have made a new wheel, which they did. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, maybe Logitech didn't want to put the drivers on the PS4.
And Thrustmaster.
They can get their own. What did you just say?
Thrustmaster made a new wheel, too.
Right? Exactly. And guess what? They're making money off that wheel. And I bet you that those are supported on the PS4. So it might not just necessarily be the PS4. It might have just been Logitech that was like, don't concern yourself putting those drivers because we're going to release this and people will buy this.
That's true.
That's what kills me about people. People forget that these companies are in the business to make money.
Dude,
certain things will work for a certain amount of time. Yes. Hold on. Wait. Let me finish my thought.
No. You cut me off. Let me finish my point.
I'll give you the floor.
Wow, man. Wow.
I'll just say it.
You're gonna cut me off.
Yeah, you can't buy one thing for your whole life, my nigga. I gotta buy a new coffee maker. I had my coffee maker for 2 years. Should I call Black & Decker and be like, yo, why do I gotta buy a new coffee
so I can make money. Finish your points so I can make money.
I'm just saying, after so long, you have to reinvest in stuff. Everything, yes, in a perfect world, we would want everything to work with everything. I feel you. But if it doesn't, and you want that option, and you have to go out and spend the money, gaming is not free. Nothing in life is free. You want the convenience of using the mouse and keyboard on the thing. So if you can't use yours, but you still want the convenience, yes, it sucks that your drivers are not there. Let's all cry a little bit, pour a little liquor for J God's mouse. His drivers aren't supported. What I'm saying is you can go get one. At least they're giving you the option to go get one. Rather than look at that, you want to sit there and bitch about my one mouse that's not supported.
You done?
Yes, sir.
All right. So the reason why the Logitech steering wheel doesn't work on the PS4 because of the whole USB hack that came on the PS3. That, you know, it's not my fault. Obviously, it's not any of our fault, but that was a loophole. So that's why it doesn't work. So the new wheel that from Thrustmaster and Logitech or anybody else that makes a wheel for these new consoles, you have to implement a way to where it kind of locks it out. It's only recognized from that. So that's why I got to spend more money on a new wheel just to play a racing game on the console. When, in fact, I spent almost $300 on my PS3 just to get the wheel to play Gran Turismo 5. So I got to spend another, about $400 on a wheel because that's like the average price now.
You don't have to. You want to.
To get the experience that I'm looking for, yeah.
Exactly. The experience you want.
Yeah, but
the way you want to play your game,
Let me finish. I let you go. Let me finish. So that goes right back to Microsoft and the whole DRM thing. They wanted to do something. People bitched about it, and they switched it. So I'm voicing my opinion and stating that what they're doing.
All right, so we're going to go out there and riot right now for your steering wheel. No, I got your point. I'm just saying, we're going to start a petition right now.
Let me finish.
So put your steering wheel on.
Let me finish.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm voicing my opinion and saying that, hey, the wheel that I use to play Gran Turismo, I can't use to play the newer one coming on at PS4. I gotta buy another wheel, minimum price about $200. That's the minimum, and up, you know, just to play another game with a steering wheel.
I bought a steering wheel, a Thrustmaster for like $100 on sale, and it was does the PS3, PS4, and PC.
Which one did you get?
Nah, yo, you should see the Logitech wheels. The Logitech wheels are like top of the line. But
yeah, so like
you have to blame the person that had to.
Exactly. That was my point. That was gonna be my last point. Was that's nobody's fault other than the person who created the hack.
But
so
you mean to tell me that the developers of Skullgirls figured out how to use a fight stick on the PS3 from the PS3 and the PS4 using some new driver, and PlayStation can't release some official drivers like use my wheel on the PS4?
I'm pretty sure they can. It's do they want to?
All right, so let me interject.
Or do they want to get licensing money from other devices?
All right, listen.
The wheel I have is licensed through them.
I'm about to mute you motherfuckers. All right, look here.
Hey, if you really want to use that wheel though, just from a hardware standpoint, look into something called Cronus Maximus.
There you go.
And that will allow you to use that old wheel player.
The whole point is I don't want to use extra tools to use something. I should just plug it right in.
So let me just defend J-God a little bit, and I want to point to this. On PS3, you were allowed to use any Bluetooth device on the PS3.
Yep.
You cannot do that on PS4 at all because it is a way for them to ensure they make more money. It drives people to their proprietary stuff. So I'll just put that out there. I don't know who's right or wrong. I'm just going to. I would imagine with Gran Turismo being as big as it is worldwide, that they're going to be forced to open up their shit to the older wheels, the older expensive wheels anyway, just to keep their diehard fans happy. So I would hold out for that. But we're going to move on because it's been way too long, and I need my Master Race guys to. Can you all record all this just in case it doesn't work, so I have a backup?
Oh, you should have told me that in the beginning. I'm not recording.
You have to do that from the beginning. I don't know. I'm not technical. I don't know how to do this. Well,
and that file size would be huge too if I use Shadowplay.
Unless Joey or Dawson is recording, I haven't been.
I haven't been recording. I would have to open up Shadowplay.
It says live, dude. It should go to your fucking.
It's not on the channel though. It'll probably go afterwards.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see. Otherwise, this is all for nothing. Okay, so we're gonna go about one more topic. Before I do that, I want to go into a stream after this. Is anybody down for any type of streaming tonight? Be it on Xbox. I'd rather them do on Xbox until they fix their streaming, but anybody down to get on my stream with me later?
I think you should purchase Call of Duty Black Ops player.
I don't like it.
Bro, you could be a legend. You don't even know.
I am a legend of Call of Duty, but I'm not. I don't support that anymore.
You haven't seen PlayStation's newest video on Call of Duty, the tournament? Top 5 plays?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't see it, Silver?
No, I'm not. No, I used to be good at it.
It went up last night, bro. It went up last night.
Don't do it, man. Don't do it.
No, I'm not. I don't support
peer pressure.
So anyway, I'll be streaming as soon as we get off here. Hopefully, some of you guys will join me in there to keep this going. The last topic. I'm gonna let y'all run with it for a second. I gotta go fill my vape back up. PSVR. There's a lot of articles hitting the streets now. I think Forbes did one of them, and then the other guy that Michael Fisher or whatever talked about it.
Pasher.
Yeah, whatever. He said PSVR.
Rate his name, yo.
PSVR has the best chance to push the VR industry forward because their install base and their just of what they've already shown so far, and the press in their reviews on said device has been through the roof. There hasn't been a whole lot of negativity around PSVR. So he and others are saying that they're going to push the industry forward in regards to gaming. Because I'm going to reiterate, VR is here to stay, despite what naysayers might say. My mom, for instance, just got a grant for her school for $10,000 to purchase VR. So it's here to stay. I don't know. I mean, that's the government. That federal government is paying for it now from a educational standpoint. VR is here to stay, and they're saying now that Sony's the one that's going to keep it alive on the gaming side. What's your thoughts on that?
I completely agree. And in my opinion, I think that without, it doesn't have a huge upfront price that you have to pay for just the hardware side, as far as your computer. So that right there automatically, a lot of people would rather just go pay, $300, $350 for a PlayStation and then, maybe $300 for a headset or whatever versus, $1,000 for a PC and, $700 for a headset. So I think from a financial standpoint, I think they're going to have a much easier time about it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree because I was at PSX and I tried. I was only able to try one game, but they already have like 100 games for this thing already that they're working on, and they have games that out like Drive Club, I believe Final Fantasy,
Gran Turismo, Ace Combat.
Yeah, plenty. Riggs. I know Riggs. I tried out Eve Valkyrie. That was a great game. I know Riggs is a pretty big game, but the lines were just so long for the VR. Like, I was only able to try one game.
Let me ask you this. My friend recently went to CES and he said that the lines for VR were like through the door. But it's kind of crazy because it seemed like most of the consumers were just going for the regular like Samsung Gear. Like they really don't know what VR technically is yet. Like they, what I'm saying? Like they're still looking for it. And I guess VR, the line for it was just crazy to the point where he couldn't even play it. So I'm glad that there's an interest, dude.
I think one concern people have is that they're not really going to be able to pull off really next-gen graphics with these VR devices. So it may take time for them to really, or for the technology to even be there, completely there. Now, at the same time, graphics aren't everything. Like, you can still make a beautiful game that doesn't, it's not as demanding, like JRPGs, for example.
So yeah, I think
from the people that I've talked to that have actually played the VR, they've never said anything about the graphics. They've never come out and been like, well, like there are minor gripes. You can see some edging from here and there, but they haven't been like, dude, it's like fucking Atari. It's like fucking ET graphics.
They're not bad graphics. They're good. Trust me.
Yeah. All that's coming from is like people who play on the PC, they're expecting that the PlayStation VR is going to work exactly the way like the HTC Vive and the way that the Oculus Rift work. It doesn't. That box that they have that's connected to it, what it's doing is doing something called what's it called? It's taking 2 frames and it's creating a third frame in the middle to boost the frame rate. Basically, is what it's doing. Yeah, it's almost like interlacing. They're using a post-processing technique that old 120 hertz TVs used to use to take 60 frames per second and turn it into 120 frames a second. That's all they're doing. And with that, what that allows you to do is you can create, that 90 frames a second. Like basically, they're putting a VCap on it from probably, 120 frames a second. That's all they're doing. And what that allows them to do is it gives them more hardware resources to actually make games look just like normal PlayStation games.
Oh, like it's doubling frames and tripling frames.
Yeah, it's frame doubling.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So
there's no frame rates at all in that thing.
Okay. I think the more important part over the graphics is the immersion, the level of immersion. If they can pull that off, then I think they got a home run. You know what I'm saying? Like if you feel like you're actually there, because then it's like you don't really need it. Because I know a lot of people are seeing the indie games that came out of PSX and they're like, "This is trash. Who the fuck wants to play Job Simulator? I'm tired of my job."
I heard Jack wants to pre-order that shit already. Yeah.
You want to know what my only concern is? Trust me, if you can put me in a 3D painting, I'm there. But my only concern is having those light sources that close to my eyes, like being that close to a screen.
Oh, we're gonna be blind as fuck by the way.
Oh, we're gonna have eyes.
So your eyes are fried, son. Like it's over.
We're gonna have those lenses in there for a reason, you know.
What is Jack? I want to know what Jack thinks about VR.
Like blue light's bad for your eyes.
That's horrible.
I think it's cool tech. I don't know if people gonna buy it. That's my biggest thing. I don't see people going out and buying it. Cause like people complain about getting like free games and shit. So like to ask one of these dudes to spend $300-$400 on a headset, they're gonna be like, go fuck yourself, pretty much.
They complain about everything.
Exactly. So I don't know. I just see
having to buy new steering wheels to use on new machines.
Oh wow! Too soon, man. Too soon. Too soon. Too soon.
From this standpoint, though, man, like if they get those VRs, they get those VRs into the hands of like pro gamers and stuff like that. They start using them in tournaments. People automatically start using them because look at Scuff and Scuff controllers. Those things took off as soon as Optics started using them and things like that. What it is the first time someone puts that on at a friend's house and they're playing like a first-person shooter game and they can like look back and forth and it feels so right to them, they're gonna go out and they're gonna buy it.
Yeah.
As someone who I purchased the Oculus Rift already. The Oculus Rift came out at $599, $699, I forget what it was.
DK1 or DK2?
No, the actual market one.
Oh, God. Okay.
I pre-ordered it. I came home drunk on the night of my birthday and said, fuck it, I deserve it.
Oh, man.
And so it's sold out within minutes at its price, so much so that I missed the pre-order and the actual March shipment, and I'm already pushed back to July. So there is a market for it. Now, when you look at Patch has made a career out of being wrong 7 out of 10 times. And if you look at Bloomberg covered CES, and they did a thing on Bloomberg TV. They did a special on VR. They didn't cover the Sony VR in their special. They only covered the Vive and the Oculus. So I think that we get misconstrued as people that are gamers, as people that are in YouTube, and we take our view and magnify it onto everything else.
Yep.
Is it fair to say that they only reviewed those two because they're easily accessible? Sony's not letting everybody have those, and you have to have their.
They were at CES though. They were at CES event.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
They were at the CES event, is what I'm telling you. And when they did their VR special, they didn't include the Sony VR in their special.
Right.
They didn't even talk about it as being a contender. They did mention Samsung's Gear though. Nowhere, and I put the video in Glitch, and I said that this is funny. I need to watch it because they didn't even utter Sony. So again, going back to my original point, I think we misconstrue. However many Sony fans are hype, or how many other IGNs or GameSpots are all talking about it, we automatically assume that that's the whole world. And it just might not be. The general consumer, God only knows what they actually really think of VR. I've also read articles where the Samsung Gear is what most people associate VR with right now. And the market thinks that that's going to be the one to start pushing VR because everybody has a cell phone. And everybody upgrades their cell phone 1 year to the next. And all you need is a current cell phone to run that. As a matter of fact, I believe it was Best Buy today, or it was Best Buy today. If you went in and bought a 6 or a Note 5, they were giving you a Samsung Gear.
For free?
Yes.
Wow.
So that's being pushed out there already. And that's something that soccer moms got, your grandmama got a cell phone, everybody got cell phones. Now, I'm interested, I want VR to do well because it's about time we have something to move forward, something to push our pastime forward. But I don't think it's going to just jump off the shelf running like everybody thinks it is. And for gaming, yes, because console gamers they will buy it, but I don't know if they're going to buy it right away.
No, and they're not expecting to sell it right away. I think they're trying to get it going over time. That's the thing.
Another thing we're doing is we're only looking at it from the gaming standpoint. I think Dave brought up a good aspect. One of our the last podcast was on. If porn gets onto the Oculus or the Vive, whichever one they support will be the one that wins because the populace is just a dirty group of people. So whichever one they're going to support is going to be the one that's going to win. Just like VHS and Betamax, just like Blu-ray and HD DVD. Whichever one the porn industry comes on, boom. And that's actually Dave's point. He's the one who talked about porn, not me.
People are on Pornhub anyway on the PlayStation.
I want them all to do well, honestly. But like every type of VR that has come out so far, even according, I think my boy told me today that Lenovo came out with their little $10 whatever. You hook it up to your cell phone and they're sold out immediately. Every time they've come out with that,
Lenovo made one too.
Yeah, Lenovo. That's what I'm saying. Every company is doing it. So that is
Google Cardboard, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's also every time they've come out with something, it's sold out immediately. Immediately, dude. The Oculus sold out immediately. The Samsung Gear, the Lenovo stuff, the Google Cardboard, everything is just selling out crazy when it comes to VR. So I'm hoping they all do well because they're all going to need each other.
Consumers have been waiting for the next big thing for, years. 3D wasn't it because nobody wanted to wear the stupid glasses. And then on top of that, if you had the active 3D glasses, which were the only ones that were true 1080p, the shutter effect just ruined your eyes. I went out and spent almost $2,000 on a TV and instantly regretted it. So, until VR comes out, then there hasn't been anything in between there. So once somebody tries it and they like it and they start showing it to their friends, that's when VR is going to take off. And I think that's why Samsung Gear is taking off, is because everybody has a cell phone, so they're going to be sharing it and passing it around the room. So it's going to help as far as
think about VR in like a movie theater, dude. Like think about oh my god, I can't wait.
Out of people who've tried it though, I want to know. How many layers does it feel like you're actually
it's barely
in the
there.
world, or is it like you can look back and it looks like you're really looking at it in real life like that?
You're pretty immersed.
Like artificial.
Like you know that something's on your face, but it's not that heavy. The only thing you feel are the headphones, but the immersion is pretty deep.
But does it feel like it's just a few added layers of depth?
Static image, or does it feel like it has depth?
Does it look like it's really there?
Yeah.
When I played Eve Valkyrie, it has depth.
Like when you look off in the distance, the sky looks like it's a sky. It looks like it's fucking way above you. Like things in the distance look like they're way out there. Yeah. There's that's why when people were playing that I think it was The Walker, whatever, that new the new Sony movie that they had with their French tightrope walker, and they put people up there and people are you see people bugging out and getting squeamish because they feel like they're on a tightrope looking down. You know what I'm saying?
The immersion is pretty deep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's reassuring.
Another thing I want to add, I know I told Silver this. What's going to help a lot? I told Dredd this in the community that what Sony would need to do to help bring attention to it, since they make movies, they're gonna have to do something with VR in the movie sense.
Definitely.
For PlayStation though, not to release it in theaters, but for PlayStation. For those that have the VR headset, they can do a movie or some sort of interaction or video interaction to help bring the interest to that piece of hardware.
It's just gonna be a whole nother level, dude. Because like, imagine watching a movie in VR where you can actually look around and see different things happening. Like, this is gonna be the level of you watching the same movie over again, and depending on what you're paying attention to, can be a whole different experience. You know what I'm saying? If you're watching a movie where there's people fighting, you could look behind you and you're watching one character fight, and you're looking above, and you know what I'm saying? Like, this could be the next step, literally.
The Sony marketing people to hire you, yo.
No, you know how to get that? You know how to get that shit? You know how to sell that shit? How to market that shit? You just tell people they can fucking go in GTA, they can walk into a strip club.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Dude, look at Google. I mean, look at YouTube and everything. YouTube's posting all these new 360-degree videos. They're getting ready for VR, and we're talking about 3D movies. The studios are already starting to do marketing for 3D. If you get on Google or on YouTube right now and type in, Age of Ultron 360-degree video, it's literally an entire scene, a fight scene in full 3D. And if you can, that's it. You take your cell phone and you can move it around and look at different parts while they're fighting. So
that's sick.
Which is the exact same thing. And every time you watch a movie, it'll be a completely different experience because you're watching it with your significant other, and she's like, "Well, did you see what the Hulk did over there?" And you're like, "No, I was looking at Ultron over there."
Iron Man or something. Yeah.
So it's going to bring a lot of replayability to movies, which is something that has never really had, except for if you really enjoyed the movie the first time you watched it,
Yeah, or like if you watch a standard definition and then high definition, but there's not much that varies there. This could completely change every type of media that we have, every type of marketing that you have, any type of teaching that you have. You know what I'm saying? Like, schools implementing this into their infrastructure is going to be crazy because you could take a field trip to other fucking countries or a jungle, or you know what I'm saying? Like, VR has a potential, AR has potential too, like huge potential. Like what Microsoft is working with the HoloLens, that is going to be something amazing for art, for design, for engineering. Like, it's just exciting, man.
Damn, nigga, I hear the love in your voice, yo.
I think you're gonna see pretty soon. You're gonna see Google. You're gonna see Google.
I am slapping somebody with some money, yo. The day they put pre-order, yo, it's a wrap. It's over.
What? I'm getting both.
You've been talking about VR since forget about it, yo. Yeah. He bought it yesterday in his mind,
I'm picking a double dip on it pretty soon, so.
Yeah, I got that. I don't know if I'm gonna go Oculus and Vive. What I want to do is throw the Oculus I copped on eBay.
To see
what I can get out of it.
Now, rumor is the Vive supposed to be like.
The Vive is supposed to be the shit because of it gives you VR and AR.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you have to set up a room.
I'm saying the price. The price of it's supposed to be like 800 to like.
Yeah, 8 to 15, right?
Because it has cameras that you have to set up, right? And it tracks you in that space.
There's cameras. There's I think cameras on the actual headset itself.
Yeah. So you don't even have to take it off. They're saying that it's good for you know what I'm saying, to actually know where you are in the room. But also if you wanted to get a glass of water or something, you could just turn to the camera and pick it up. Like if somebody came in the room, you could have a conversation with them and not be looking at the wall like an idiot. You know what I'm saying?
I'm over here.
Playing the game, meanwhile they're robbing your whole house behind you and shit. I was really immersed. That'll be on the back of the box. So immersed you get your house robbed.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and end this podcast that's not live, and I hope to see some of you guys on PSN here in a bit. Really appreciate everybody coming out, and we'll see you next time.
All
right. Thanks for having us.
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Let's see.